Honoring Black History is brought to you by the Tennessee Education Lottery.
The Appalachian African American Cultural Center in Southwest Virginia is working to preserve the history and the heritage of Black people in the region.
But the building didn't start out as a cultural center. News Channel 11's Jayana Scurry tells us more about the history of that center.
Nestled in the mountains of Pennington Gap, Virginia, is the Appalachian African American Cultural Center. But decades before, it was a one-room school for African American students up to the 7th grade.
It served as the only source of education for the Black children here in Pennington Gap. My mother was in the first group of children to attend school here, and I was in the last group in 1965 when we integrated.
Ron Carson is the founder of the Appalachian African American Cultural Center. In 1939, his great-great-grandmother, Rachel Scott, saw the need for a school for Black children and provided the land and resources. In the 1980s, Carson and his wife Jill moved back to Pennington Gap and saw that the building was set to be demolished, but put a stop to it.
We didn't really know what we wanted to do with this building until we went to Highlander, the Highlander Education Research Center in New Market, Tennessee. It was there that we discovered that very little has been written on African American in the coal fields of Southwest Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, Northeast Tennessee, Southern West Virginia.
They transformed the one-room school into a cultural center full of historical artifacts, books, photos, and much more memorabilia.
If we walk around this room, we have the first African American lady who was ever elected to a county board in this whole region. My wife was the vice mayor of this town and president of the Virginia Municipal League. My grandfather, Smith Carson, had the first integrated big band back in the 1930s, which was called the Black and White Medley Boys, who played with Louis Armstrong and Elvis Presley. So there's a lot of history that's not being told.
This is the desk that author Alex Haley wrote his iconic book Roots at. 30 years after his death, the Appalachian African American Culture Center acquired this in 2022.
We have a doctor's medicine chest cabinet there that he used back in the 50s. He was the only doctor at the time that would treat African Americans. We have photographs, a desk that was the original desk in this building, just a series of different things that we have. But most importantly, I think it's our stories that we have documented.
Many school groups come visit the center throughout the year. Carson, along with a team, goes out and teaches anti-racism workshops as well. Carson says it's important for younger generations to know where they came from.
You know, the old saying goes, if you don't know where you came from, how do you know where you're going? African American history is American history. It's our history. It all should be together. We just need to not be ashamed of where we came from, but to embrace it and to learn from it.
In Pennington Gap, Jayana Scurry, News Channel 11.